Now, ladies and gentlemen, I have a solution for this. They call it a caravan, for this invasion that's taking place. I have a solution. I posted it up on Facebook, and it's this. The Prime Minister of Canada, Trudeau, young Trudeau, chip off the old man's block. Trudeau has said in the past, hey, we welcome aliens, illegal aliens. I guess he calls them undocumented migrants. From all parts of the world. We in Canada, we are loving people. We are compassionate people. We welcome all people here. So I'm thinking to myself, I have a solution to all this stuff. A solution for the illegal aliens who are trying to come into the country illegally. A solution for the Trump administration, and a solution for the Trudeau administration. Here's what we do. President of the United States picks up the phone and he calls Trudeau and he says, hey, we got 7,000 to 14,000 people coming here illegally. I know you support illegal immigration. I know your borders are wide open. You've said it over and over again, and you've said you're very compassionate about these things. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to get a whole bunch of Greyhound buses, and we're going to have as many of these caravan marchers as possible get on the buses, and we're going to drive them, you know, the way Mexico does it, lets these people go through their country into our country. We can learn something from Mexico. Oh, we can. And what we'll do is we'll put them on Greyhound buses, and we'll drive them to our northern border, and we'll let them out. Because Canada wants them. These people want to leave the hellholes they come from. Am I allowed to say that? I mean, if you're marching 1,000 miles or 2,000 miles, I assume they're hellholes, even though they're carrying their flags. And in the United States, this president believes in law and order and enforcing the immigration laws. So there you have it. You satisfy all three. The illegal aliens wind up in Canada, leaving their hellholes. Canada receives them because their arms are wide open for them. And in the United States, we enforce our border and our immigration laws. I think that's a brilliant idea, Mr. Producer. And on top of that, look at Greyhound. Greyhound makes a profit, too. They could probably use it. So that's my solution, ladies and gentlemen, for the caravan, a.k.a. parade of illegal immigrants who are coming into our country, supported by left-wing groups south of the border, left-wing groups within the United States, funding organizations within our borders, funding organizations outside our borders, like in Venezuela and so forth. But here we can accommodate everybody. Okay, we'll use Uber, too. I don't care. We can use Uber, we can use taxis, Greyhound, whatever. I'm not particular about these things. Let's go to Todd, Rockville, Maryland. WCBM, go.
Mark, great to talk to you. Here's one solution I have. I've done the math on this, and it's pretty incredible. You and I and everybody else pay into Social Security Trust Fund at about, 6.8%, 7.2% annually out of our payroll. How about we institute for new citizenship in this country for a period of 3 years, you pay double that rate, and then you work your way to citizenship, and your rate comes down to a normal rate. I did some math on an average...
Let's slow down. You see, there's a moral issue here, sir. I don't think people should be able to pay their way out of their illegal behavior.
I'm not talking about...
And what you'll also see is because many of them earn very little in terms of wages, many of them get paid under the table because the employer doesn't want to be revealed as a crook. What I'm saying is I don't think this would work because it's already lawless. And so you're saying, okay, let's tax it. Well, if that's already lawless and they're not paying any taxes to begin with, the employer and so forth, then how do you push them into that system?
Well, I'm saying even for legal immigration coming to this country, we got to have something going into the...
What we need is to limit the number of people coming into the country legally and illegally. That's it.
This is not 1918. It's 2018. It's a new ball game.
I don't know what that means.
I mean, it's a new economy. We can't live by the same standards.
In the 1920s, during Coolidge's presidency, we had, during that period before and slightly after, we had like a 20-year respite on immigration. Are you aware of that? I wish it was, to some extent. a matter of us being able to just slow things down, assimilate people within our system, to take a look at how it's shaking out in terms of our school systems, in terms of law enforcement, in terms of local health care, in terms of jobs and so forth. But what's happening is the left is flooding the field more and more and more. We have never had a 50-year period of immigration like we have right now. Never in American history. We actually have a political party that's cheering illegality. Cheering it. So I don't, but I appreciate your call. People come up with tax schemes and everything else. It's beyond tax schemes. It's beyond, well, let's have them pay 3 times in. No. Let's enforce the law. Let's enforce the law. And many people who come here, people don't want to hear this. Many people come here, don't work. There's a whole underground economy with fake Social Security cards, with people getting Medicaid who aren't supposed to get Medicaid. There's a whole massive underground economy going on in this country. And everybody knows it. Everybody knows it. And again, you have a political party that it not only won't do anything about it, it celebrates it. It celebrates it. 8:70 a.m. Ken in California. Go.
Yes, Mark. I heard some numbers, and it scares me, and I think I have a solution, but I need you to clarify the numbers for me.
Well, I'm here to help, sir.
I had heard that there are either 50,000 or 500,000 cases to be adjudicated as to whether they can stay in the country.
No, that's wrong. There's 1 million.
It's 1 million. Okay, that's
Trump inherited a backlog of 1 million. So people understand how this works. When somebody steps foot in the country and uses magic words that the lawyers tell them to use, lawyers south of the border, lawyers north of the border, they have the system, they know what the law is. It triggers a mechanism, a bureaucratic legal mechanism, where they have a right to appear before administrative law judges. And because there's so many of them, they're given a date to return, and often that date could be 2 or 3 years away. And guess what? The vast majority of them never show up.
Right. No, I realize that. So my solution, partial solution, would be to try to, in California, for example, if there are a shortage of attorneys, you can appoint a commissioner. Is that possible to appoint a number of...
Sir, they disappear in the shadows. You can appoint a commissioner. You can appoint a king for the day.
But, you know,
they're not. Listen to me. I know you're enthralled with your idea. They're not coming to court. They're not coming back.
But at least we would be able to handle more of them as they come in.
No, you don't understand. They have a right to come back. They don't have to be... In other words, nobody adjudicates something right there. You get to assemble your evidence and make your arguments and so forth and so on. So they're not going to adjudicate them right there.
Unbelievable that that's the process.
And the president has been begging Congress, trying to change the system to prevent this. And, of course, the Democrats refuse.
So we would never be able to eliminate that million backlog you're talking about? I mean,
no, the million backlog is one day going to become a 2 million backlog. Yeah, and this backlog that I talk about, again, these people are gone. They're somewhere in our country. We don't know where they live. In some cases, they give false names and have false IDs. It becomes impossible. It becomes impossible. We have anarchy right now. Absolute anarchy in the immigration world. And you can thank the Democrats and the federal judges. Absolute anarchy. Thank you for your call, my friend. I shall return. Listen to Joe Scarborough today on MSNBC. Cut 14, go.
We will not be distracted from the truth out there that brown people are not coming to invade America. That this is all about Republicans that don't want to talk about the fact that they've gutted people's health care. And they don't have to face that truth over the next. So it's all about distraction. You know that how I say James Carville says, look at the bird over there, look at the bird. Yeah. That's exactly what's happening, except now it's Republicans doing it.
This guy really is a mental midget. Look at the brown people. The brown people. We want to enforce our laws, and you see, it's about the brown people. Joe Scarborough, the whitest man on TV next to Chris Matthews. It's about the brown people? Really? When Shelby Steele was on my Fox show several months ago on Life, Liberty, and Levin, he pointed out that guys that talk this way, they feel like they immunize themselves from criticism, that they're better than all of you. And so they can position themselves, you see, as supporting brown people. But you folks out there who aren't brown, you obviously hate brown people because you don't agree with Joe. This is a sick mindset, and they want to talk about putting fuel on the fire when they constantly push this racist narrative. Constantly. And then secondarily, Republicans have gutted people's health care. Obamacare is in place other than the individual mandate. Nobody's gutted anything. Medicare is in place. Medicaid's been expanded. Obamacare is in place. All kinds of welfare programs out there. What exactly has been gutted? What's gutted, quality, affordable health care, is government. Is Obamacare and the left. So now all of a sudden, this fool who claims to be a conservative, nobody else is, he is, you see. Republicans have gutted people's health care. And they don't want brown people coming to America, you see. Let's go to Scott, Staten Island, New York, the great WABC. Go.
Mark, thanks for taking my call.
You got it.
Before I get to my point, I just want to remind you also, we can't forget about that truck that was on the tracks when the Republican Party was on that train. The truck that was on fire.
I don't remember, to be honest with you.
Okay. About the invasion that's coming, and that caller that you had before that said, Mark, it's not 1918, it's 2018. It's kids like that really going to ruin our country. I see that every day, Mark, in Manhattan. The kids today are just unbelievable. They don't believe in the Constitution. They don't believe in anything. They just want to run rampant. There's no law and order, basically, with these kids. They don't believe in anything, Mark.
Well, what do you expect when their professors tell them this? What do you expect when the news media tell them this? When they see politicians like Kamala Harris or Bernie Sanders, who do nothing but trash our constitutional system and our economic system, and they're given all this time and all this attention. We're rotting from within because the progressives have devoured so many of our institutions.
It's unbelievable, and unfortunately, the United States is becoming a toilet for these people, and it's unbelievable because I love this country so much, and I have a big fear for it in the future, and it's the future.
Let me ask you a question. When Reagan was president, we had, it almost seemed weekly, if not nightly, the network news shows going to these food lines in Washington, D.C. How old are you?
I'm 56.
So you remember these, right?
Oh, sure.
They would, day in and day out, that Reaganomics was causing people to starve, hungry people. How many network news programs have you seen? You certainly haven't seen them frequently, but have you seen they're going to these tent cities that are all around Los Angeles?
I haven't seen any.
I haven't seen a single one.
No, not at all.
And yet people who live in and around Los Angeles, they see them every day. They drive by them every day. Yeah. They're getting bigger and bigger. How many shows have you seen about these tent cities in San Francisco and the needles and the defecation and all the other stuff that's going on in that city? How many shows have you seen on that?
I haven't seen any, Mark.
No, you haven't. You're not going to see them on CNN or MSNBC, and I haven't even seen them on Fox. We ought to see what's happening to our cities. And how many have we seen really on the border cities? We have people walking up and down the fence, walking up and down the border. But how about these small communities, these ranchers on Arizona and these other states? How many stories have we seen about what's taking place there? We don't see any of it.
No, we don't see any of it, and that's the thing. And it's terrible because the media is so corrupt, and we should be seeing these things. I mean, we don't even see it from Fox. I hate to say that, but we don't. And it's unbelievable. We need to see this, and it's just incredible that we don't.
Yeah, I know, and this is our news media, you see.
Exactly.
By the way, Michael Avenatti, he's probably going to, I believe he has had an ethics complaint filed against him. He's had a formal criminal complaint filed against him now. A judge has ordered him to pay nearly $5 million to one of his former partners. He's behind in his rent. How come we don't see him on CNN anymore?
It's unbelievable. You know, he was
their favorite lawyer, other than that nut Tubin, who's on the payroll. Avenatti was on CNN, MSNBC, the main networks, but particularly CNN, dozens and dozens and dozens of times. Has he been banned from CNN? Didn't they know about his background? Didn't he know he was a slip and fall lawyer? Everybody else knew.
Villains chaser, Mark.
All right, my brother. I appreciate your call very much.